Hello everyone, good morning, good evening, good day, and good time zone to you all, and welcome back to our second of 3 live streams to go ahead and talk about what's going to be coming with Destiny 2 in light on April 9th. As a reminder, everything you're about to see is available to all players, just as was everything last week when we went ahead and had a chance to go ahead and walk through Onslaught. Now, today we've obviously got a few topics that we touched on last week. We got a new social space to go ahead and check out.
Na verdade, vamos mostrar a torre também, né? Quer dizer, nova área social.
An up close and personal look at the Brave Arsenal. But of course, I'm not the only one who's going to be talking through it. I'm joined by an all-star cast of folks here from the Bungie development team, and I'm going to go ahead and
esse cara do meio é o cara das armas.
Face, but Tom Farnsworth, senior design lead, how you doing today?
I'm doing great, yeah. And,
oh, pie.
A little bit about myself here. I've been at Bungie for about 12 years, maybe a little longer. It's been a while.
A decade plus.
And obviously there's some stuff we're going to be looking at today that's kind of like full circle.
Yeah.
With, you know, the Space Tiger logo, the light there.
Os dois caras escrevendo igual, velho. Que isso, velho?
I've been fortunate to, you know, I was able to place the Kobastov way back in Cosmo.
Mano, Cadu e Tuxis. Pô, é essa, velho?
Foundations are stronger than heroes is a big.
Os caras se ueram.
There's a few things that I'm really having had a chance working proud to interact with.
Pô, o Bardock também, velho.
I'm a little more infamous for, like placing the drop pods and homecoming.
So follow him on Twitter, let him know how you thought about that, right?
And then over the past few years, I've been working on seasons and things like the 30th and Into the Light.
Vamos ver.
Awesome. Very cool.
Estamos
Thank you very
introduzindo,
much
né?
for your hard work as someone who's played a lot of it. Excited to go ahead and dive in more with even more of it today. And of course, also
Esse é o cara das armas.
by Chris
Esse agora.
Proctor, senior design lead here
Chris
at Bungie.
Proctor. É o que balanceia também PVP.
On a podcast or know anything about you. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do here at Bungie?
Yeah, hey Andy, thanks. Yeah, I joined Bungie 4.5 years ago as weapons feature lead for Destiny 2. So a bunch of Destiny releases. This will be my 17th with Into the Light.
Is that all?
Yeah. Going through like a bunch of great
17 lançamentos no Destiny, tá porra, velho.
Of stuff to talk through with the Brave Arsenal today, and greatest hits, I think, is probably the best way to describe it. And of course, last but very not least, down at the end, the one and only Kelsey Rice, systems designer here at Bungie. Kelsey, how you doing today?
Hello, I'm doing great.
All right, well, obviously the third verse, same as the second and the first. For the folks at home who may not know you or know anything about your work, can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Só calvos, calma, cabelo é caro hoje em dia.
First, yes, I'm a systems designer at Bungie. I've been here for about 2.5 years, and I work on a lot of fun stuff like quests and pursuits and progressions, a lot of like spreadsheet design, which I really love.
The fabric that holds all of our adventures together, honestly.
Yes.
Very exciting. Well, obviously you've had a big hand Into the Light as well today. We're going to go ahead and dive into that here in just a bit. But, you know, before we go ahead and dive on, is there anything you guys are excited about today in particular, or should we just go ahead and show rather than just tell? What do you think?
Mostre, imediatamente.
So it is. All right, let's go and dive on in. So we're going to start off. We have a brand new social space.
Área social.
Champions that we're going to go ahead and check on out. Kelsey, Kelsey's the one who's responsible for taking us through that. So shall you return to the throne world, obviously, and dive on in?
Bring me your tithes.
Perfect, excellent. That's right. There are tithes.
Mostra imediatamente a área social.
Now, while we're on the way, Tom, Hall of Champions is a brand new social space here.
Hall of Champions.
Where is this? Where are we going to, like, where's this place been? Why are we checking it out now?
So Shaxx has carved out just a little bit of the backstage of the tower. And you're going to see a few little fun nods here to Destiny history.
Reclusa, atenção, atacou.
On screen here we got Sweepy Bot, and this is actually the lead up to the Hall of Champions.
Já tá com a sensação tão alta, velho.
Yeah, this is what, you know, there's an off season for a lot of the holiday events.
Yeah, little pile of snow.
Esse aqui é na parte de trás da torre, eles falam.
There's some greenery.
This is interesting. All right, so we found.
Mano, ela tá com uma sensação muito alta, velho.
So he's carved out space maybe that has been hiding in plain view potentially for other sweeper bots or red jacks around the tower.
And there's some stuff from.
A Reclusa na mão. A mira da Reclusa. Tem o símbolo da.
Noah put it here himself.
No, and all the space. Like, if we just take a step forward.
Cara, tem um GL na cinética ali. Tem um GL na cinética. O cara tá foda em ver. Calma aí. Pô, tá bonito. Mas tem um GL ali na cinética, velho. Se for a topo... Opa, Reclusa. Não, mostra mais, mostra mais.
Kelsey, can you go ahead and show us a little bit? We're going to go ahead and walk up here. We see a whole bevy of chests, actually. Let's go ahead and start there. What are we looking at, and how do we?
Esses aqui são tudo armas que estão voltando?
Yeah, so as you can see, this space is just full of chests. You can see here all the class icons on the floor. A little bit like 30th. You can come here to
é como É como a área do Shure lá, velho. Que você abre os baús no Shure. Em 14 a 50. Reputação, 4 a 10.
Set of armor. I can pull open my character so you can see what
Opa.
that looks like on the hunter.
That's right. Also too,
Aquilo ali é Topo da Montanha. Aquilo ali é a Topo da Montanha. E o set tá foda pra porra. Mas aquilo ali é Topo da Montanha.
Tom, this is the parade armor set, I believe is what we're referring to it as.
So like it's the D2 Year 1 parade armor.
Aquilo ali
Homecoming. It's kind of a classic set. We're again like full circle here with we were like beginning the Destiny 2 saga there, and now we're kind of, you know, ending the fight here. We're getting ready to take the fight to the Witness, and Shax has got this iconic set of armor. We're calling it the Parade 2.0.
Yeah.
And everyone can earn it. It's available to all
é
players.
tipo a área do Shure, que você vai abrindo os baús e vai pegando as armas e armaduras.
Very nice. And also too for folks out there, we got
Nosso
the
amigo,
hunter
né?
here. Actually, Kelsey, can we check
Pô,
out
tá foda,
the armor set one more
Tá
time?
bonito.
Yeah.
The folks at home. Also too, so this is an up close and personal look, obviously, at this armor set,
Não,
which will be
mostra a arma.
available
Eu
to
quero a arma,
everyone
velho.
that goes ahead and jumps into the light.
É de graça, tá?
Also
Pra quem
too,
tá se
there's a
perguntando, é
Titan
de graça.
set and a Warlock set, we should also say. That you can go ahead and see in the key art as well, but obviously this will be arriving on April 9th, so you'll get a chance to go ahead and go hands-on.
Mostra a arma, desgraça.
Yeah, it's looking fresh, honestly. I wouldn't be upset to go ahead and don that armor.
Pô, aquele capacete tá foda, velho.
Yeah, it was really interesting, like
Capacete
setting all
manopla.
we're working on all this stuff because we were kind of waiting to finally see that set, and finally being able to equip it in game was just such a cool experience.
Yeah, honestly. All right, so we're obviously equipped. We've got an armor set that we're going to go ahead and be chasing down, but
Deus tá vendo aquele baú
we're
ali.
now hanging out with Shax, and is that our site over there as well?
Yes, that is our site. And one last chest I want to point out here.
Oh,
too.
please.
This one is going to be your hub for just grinding out weapons. So
Seu hub pra te dar armas.
Those trophies that you'll be collecting with Shax, you can just keep redeeming them here, and you'll
Os
be able to
troféus
get
que
all
você
your
ganha
guns
com o
here.
Shax, você pode dar
And this
redinha
one
ali.
here is we're bringing back the gift of the Thunder Gods. So if you need to catch up on your power level.
Ah, esse aqui, esse baú é tipo o baú da temporada das...
That's right. And honestly, it's again
Da-
a reminder. This is
dos
available
piratas,
to all
velho,
players,
que
so if
tinha
you've
algumas
got any
coisas
friends that maybe
adicionais
aren't quite at that powerful cap,
pra
also
quem
too,
está
actually,
voltando
double check. This will bring folks
jogar.
up to the powerful cap, was it?
Powerful, not pinnacle.
That's right. Okay, perfect. All right.
Que server é esse?
For
Como
your
assim,
friends that want to go
Jonathan?
ahead and dive in right alongside you, even if they maybe haven't played, very much recently, they got a chance to go ahead and just catch right up. They'll be ready. Be ready for day one.
Aperta aí,
Okay,
porra!
perfect. So let's go ahead and talk to Shax actually as a starting point. So how are we going to be working with Shax? Obviously, he's opened up his den of antiquities to us. But Kelsey, can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, so we need to pull out all the stops in defeating the Witness. So Shax has opened up his brave arsenal for us. As you can
Shax
see,
abriu
is really
o arsenal
like
bravo,
shining
né?
star
Arsenal
of this
da...
area. I've been kind of panning by all these hollow
Vai derrotar
passages that lie in
a
the space, which I'll be happy to talk about in a moment.
testemunha.
Oh yes.
But yeah, let's go talk to him and see what he's got. So over the
desgraça.
course of Into the Light, as you
Pô, eu quero aquela quantidade de prata ali, velho. Me coloca isso da conta.
This cool stuff. One
É
thing
tipo
in
Shure.
particular I want to point out.
Interesting.
This key.
Super Black Key.
Super black key. Is that what I'm seeing over there, Kelsey?
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, and I wonder where that goes.
So maybe people that are D1 vets potentially from back in the day might remember this. Is this what's this symbiote we're looking back here?
Yeah, right now
Peraí.
it's pretty powerful. It's in containment, but if
Ué.
you keep playing Into the Light, you'll be able to get access to the keys you need to unlock this. And get access.
Isso é do Destiny 1.
It's so good. All right. So obviously, too, yes, as a reminder, heads up to everyone. So one of the ultimate rewards available through this will indeed be
Aquilo ali é o
the
Destiny 1.
Super Black Shader. It's back, finally. It's back. There's probably some song lyrics to go along with that. I couldn't tell you what they are. But I will say to the Destiny Fashion subreddit, we are prepared for you to go ahead and take this on wholesale. So
Peraí,
actually,
aquilo ali é um tonalizador
let's go ahead and just equip Super Black.
que você ganha no
really
final.
quickly. Oh, man.
Oh, nossa, esse é o tonalizador que você ganha no final.
It does not get
Meu
much better than
Deus,
that.
ganhamos. This is cinema.
Excellent. All right.
Yeah.
So Shax is obviously going to be there to help us.
This
In addition
is
to the brave
cinema.
arsenal and the armor, Super Black is waiting for us. So tell us a little bit about our site as well. Actually, he's. I'm not sure if many people in the chat know.
Finalmente um tonalizador todo preto, véi.
Let's go ahead and get a look and see what we're going to be working with him on.
Yeah. So our site has a lot of quests for us, and we did some pretty
Fio de gatina.
things, in my opinion, with some of the quests you can pick up from our site. They're going to unlock a couple things. They also have very
Batedor, indeciso, sucessão. É?
So for every single weapon that we're going to be talking about today, there's a corresponding quest.
Fio de guilhotina.
The quest for that weapon, you're
Caralho,
going to
tinha sucessão livre.
unlock access to that weapon dropping as rewards. But there's two other really cool things that we can talk about there. One, we have these special limited edition appearances for the Brave Arsenal.
Yeah.
So completing these quests, you're going to get a guaranteed, curated copy of these limited edition weapons.
Excellent.
Which I'm happy to show because they look rad. And you'll unlock
São edições especiais curadas.
Yeah.
Quando você faz aquela tipo, é edição limitada. São as únicas. Mountain Top.
Obviously, for the folks at home, they may remember this one. I get a hunch that chat.
A Topo. Mano, pô, tão fodas, tá? Os tonalizadores. As armas únicas, entre aspas, do arsenal. Pô, tão fodas, hein, velho? Bonitas. Tem amplificador, velho. O GL tem amplificador de impulso. Reclusa, com mestre de armas.
Talking a little bit about attunement and whatnot here. There is a low chance that one will drop as a limited edition variant, which comes pre-equipped with a super shiny ornament that's locked to that weapon.
Yeah.
So the
ornamento locado daquela arma.
The limited edition variant. These are kind of exotic levels of fancy.
Yeah.
So you can't apply shaders to the ornaments. You have to remove the ornament first.
Got it.
Ah, tipo, você não pode colocar tonalizador por cima do ornamento. São ornamentos únicos. Caso você queira aplicar um tonalizador, você precisa tirar o ornamento delas. Pô, tão bonitas. Cabeça de martelo. Tá de volta. Tá de volta. 1830 de poder. Eu acho que é só por causa de ser playtest deles. Né? Acho que não é por causa de...
All right, we're going to be getting
que vai aumentar, não.
out in a little bit. So, obviously, we're going to go through all of these here in just a bit. Chat, there's a taste of just a few. We're glad that you get a chance to go ahead and check it out.
Mano, tonalizador,
but
todo
also,
preto.
for the folks that want to go ahead and farm these rolls out. Kelsey, I believe you just mentioned attunement. Can you tell us a little bit more about that before we move on?
Yes, I'd love to. So, one cool thing that you can do when completing these weapon quests, once they're available at our site, is attune to a weapon. So let's say that there's a weapon you really want to drop. You can bend luck in your favor and make it more likely for that weapon to appear. So, for example, I can do that now.
Okay.
Let's do Recluse.
Yeah.
So
chat seems to be pretty hyped on Recluse.
So, if you're looking around, you'll see there's all of these shaxes everywhere, which we just had an absolute blast working with and coming up with. And once you've unlocked attunement, you can just freely do this at any time. You can change your attunement at any time.
Attunement.
You can choose which weapon has a higher chance of dropping. So I'm going to do that now.
There we go.
Tipo, pra fazer com que a Reclusa drope mais frequentemente.
Always use more affirmations.
It never hurts, honestly. He shouts them very effectively, I might add.
Yes. So yeah.
São únicas as armas TC.
You can just visit another one. I could even just go and, unattune and reattune to my heart's content. Just once you've unlocked it, you can do that at any time. Awesome. So yeah, pick your favorites that you want to chase and
é isso aí mesmo. Você vai poder focar na arma que você quer farmar, basicamente. Attunement. Não, é tipo foco. Você poder focar a Reclusa. Mais 100 slots para o cofre. Mais 100 slots para o cofre.
You'll be getting 100 more vault slots. So go ahead and dive on in and grab whatever you want to go ahead and chase. Excellent. All right. Well, I think that's a solid tour of the Hall of Champions. I think maybe at this point we go ahead and start diving on in with the Brave Arsenal. Tom, what are you thinking?
Yeah, I'll hop in. Let's go clean out some lost sectors.
There we go. Excellent. Yeah. We got some demos to run as well. All right, everyone. So this is as a quick look at the Hall of Champions as well. Now we're going to go ahead and dive on in and look at the Brave Arsenal. Now, Chris,
cabeça de martelo tinha 2 perks de dano, velho. Esqueci de falar. Mas tinha chacina e O que é um Metallic? Esqueci o nome de agora.
iconic set of Destiny weapons for Into the Light.
Yeah, and we all have our own favorite weapons internally, and wanted to make sure that we delivered on a ton of nostalgia for the whole like Destiny 2 weapon set.
Yeah.
If you look on Reddit or Twitter, there are hundreds of weapons that these could be.
Yeah.
We had to narrow it down to 12. It's like we couldn't reasonably fit any more into the activity.
Yeah.
We couldn't necessarily
Mano.
afford to make many more than that.
Here we go.
Por que ele? Ele tem casa-cabeça e novo por quê?
Across Destiny's history, a few recent ones, most of them are
Meu Deus, o pulso tá voltando.
Yeah. So
Deixa eles
for those
cozinharem.
terrorized by blast furnace
Peraí.
and the Crucible, it's back now.
Ok.
Obviously. Yeah, honestly, Tom,
Last
let's go ahead and just kind
stand.
of walk through these. Let's go
Cara,
ahead and
status
check
como,
that,
velho?
Hungary, I see
Status
next as well.
totalmente
Sure, I can-
bustados, velho.
Let's show this over him here. Blast furnace, Hungary.
Júri indeciso.
returns as well.
Sucessão,
Deixem.
velho. Por que é sucessão?
For
Ok.
anyone that hasn't had a chance to dive into Deep Stone Crypt, they can
Okay.
get their hands on a raid weapon as well.
Yeah, I should just touch on
Succession.
succession. And there's,
Yeah, please.
four
Golpe da
variants
meia-noite.
as well. But these are fairly recent weapons, but they are, by default, you have to own the release that those raids came out in. So you have to own Beyond Light if you want to get Succession. You have
Right.
to own Witch Queen if you want to get Forbearance.
Yeah.
The Onslaught versions of these weapons are the Brave.
Você sniper, a sucessão que é da Crita Pedra Profunda, que vai estar de graça agora. Opa. Golpes finais com granada. Não, peraí. Golpes finais dão energia de granada.
It's like a ton of bricks.
Deixa eu ver de novo.
Let's see. We also have, there we go, Midnight Coup.
Golpe da meia-noite.
For anyone who watched last week, thank you Noah as well for going ahead and showing this off.
Nossa, olha o ornamento, filho.
Just look, actually, can you adjust it just so it shows the waves and
Os status que eles mostram são simplesmente horríveis. Mas,
There we go. That
continuando.
never gets old, honestly. Harkens back to one of my
Tremores
favorite times with the
cinéticos,
Black
munição
Armory.
explosiva. Golpes finais. Não, desgraça!
So we have a full list here. So we've gone over all of them in the primary slot.
50 de zoom é a mesma coisa
Let's go ahead and move on
da
down
sucessão
to
normal.
the green ammo
Opa.
selection as well. Obviously,
Reclusa.
Reclusa, chat, you've all noticed that. We're just as happy
Ó,
that it's back as you
mostra a
are.
arma. Mostra a arma imediatamente.
Go ahead and take a look
Não,
at what
outra
else
desse.
we got in the store there.
Filma.
Howl, of course. Actually,
Slide
specifically
shot.
with Luna's Howl, I know we were talking about
Slide
this before,
shot.
but, you know, these weapons are not necessarily their previous state, just kind of held in stasis, but you guys have brought them forward with new perks. You've kind of done some redesigns as well. With Luna's Howl's
Carregador de cura, slide shot, carregador
Howl's
mortal
rework as well.
e o perk dela.
Form, that was way too strong because it would let you two-tap a Guardian in PvP.
Número de... Peraí.
Yeah.
Não, deixa eu ver, porra. A gente vai ter que voltar na live.
Brought Luna's Howl forward as a 140 RPM hand
Sen-
cannon, but it retains the precision frame, so it's super easy to control the recoil.
Yeah.
We've also redesigned the Magnificent Howl perk.
Eles modificaram o
That
perk.
now lets you build up stacks
Não,
of
não,
super bullets. A little bit reminiscent of Hawkman.
Yeah.
With precision final blows.
Yeah.
And
Cara, eles mudaram
unleash
totalmente o perk,
Guardians
velho.
to do massive damage, you can get a two-tap, but it requires a little bit more effort.
Yeah.
And obviously-
Você consegue dar 2 step, mas requer muito
Yeah,
mais
gotta buy
trabalho.
time to actually land those headshots.
Depois a gente vai voltar pra eu traduzir direito isso aqui.
As I get upset
Que eles mudaram
using
pra
another
porra o
round of
perk, velho. Tá
trials,
porra.
but-
So we had 2 hand cannons in this release, Midnight Coup and Luna's Howl.
That's right, yeah.
We assigned those to 2 different designers.
Yeah.
And there's a competition going on to see which one is more popular or is more effective.
Eles eram a 2 designers da bungie para eles trazerem o canhão de mão. Tipo, cada um trouxe um e eles querem ver qual vai ser mais popular. Continua sendo 140 com...
I'm a little biased.
Little biased?
Continua sendo 140 com o recuo de 180, se não me engano, que eles falam.
Oh, yeah.
I'm deeply attached to that weapon.
Fair enough. All right.
We'll see.
Let's see here. All right.
Esquece o poder,
so
Lucas.
Elsie-
É um
so
teste,
actually,
é um
here's
servidor
cool as well.
teste.
This
Esquece
is
isso.
no longer the stranger's rifle. This is Elsie's rifle now.
Yeah, Elsie's no longer a
Opa,
stranger.
sem tempo pra explicar clonada,
Yeah, this is a
beleza.
really iconic Destiny 1 weapon that everyone who played through the Destiny 1 campaign.
Rifle da Elsie, que é rifle do robô.
It's come forward with as close to its original
Desesperado
feel
momento
as we
zen.
could manage, updated for the Destiny 2
Impacto
standard.
340.
A ton of cool new traits. It's really very, very strong, high impact
Yeah.
pulse rifle. It's running the rewind rounds.
Agora ela teve o tempo de explicar.
Made for Bolt of Glass.
Yeah.
The D2 version, which harks back to the original perks on the Stranger's Rifle in D1 as well.
And this one already looks filthy, if I might say, with Zen Moment and Desperado on there. Like that.
Desperado.
Desesperado.
Did the room get colder, or what just happened, honestly? And also, too, so there's a new, actually, as long as we're there, Tom, if you wouldn't mind actually opening that back up, there's a new origin trait, pardon me, as well on these.
Golpes finais dão energia de granada quando você está com uma subclasse da luz ou corpo a corpo quando você está com uma subclasse da treva. Esqueçam o poder. É teste, é servidor de teste.
And they're reasonably strong perks.
Yeah, designed to keep you in the fight either way.
Yep.
Excellent. All right, Tom, let's go ahead and keep checking out. What else do we have in store here? 4 variants as well. So this is, you were talking about, obviously, getting that taste of raid weapons.
Yeah.
How did you guys go ahead and bring 4 variants forward also, too, into the light? Like, what, did you add new perks into the pool, or what did you guys end up doing to kind of retain that classic feel?
Pra quê?
Yeah, so we wanted it to feel like the Witch Queen version, but with slightly updated perks. So the perk pools are fairly similar, but with a couple of spicy additions. So you'll notice Disruption Break left column on a waveframe grenade launcher, super strong.
Yeah.
It's not something that you get on the original version.
Pô,
Disgusting.
Yeah, but it's got all of the old
o primeiro perk ali pro PVP é quebrado, tá? Meu Deus.
Indomitability origin trait instead of the Soul Drinker trait, and that's the same is true of any other weapons which had already shipped with origin traits.
Yeah.
Não precisamos fazer mais raid.
On there.
E a Reclusa com ornamentos.
A limited edition ornament on the Reclusa as well that you have over there?
Yep, there's a base.
É, com ornamento exclusivo, né?
Take a look. There we go.
Ficou foda.
The ultimate,
Ficou
I
foda.
was there. As you go
Essas armas vão ter perks fixos? Acho que não. Só acho que esses aqui que estão vendo, que são, tipo, exclusivos, essas armas com ornamentos específicos, que você não pode tirar, não pode, tipo, colocar tonalizador por cima, você tem que tirar o ornamento. Depois, peraí. Acho que o mestre de armas tá igual. Você tem que tirar o ornamento pra colocar o tonalizador. Essas armas específicas, que é, tipo, uma de cada, acho que é fixo os perks, pelos vistos. Sim, Guilherme.
Blasting away raid bosses with that transit.
Sim, mega.
I'm just kidding. There's amazing memes associated with this weapon.
Yeah.
We actually brought it forward as one of the strongest heavy ammo grenade launchers.
Yeah, I was gonna say, we were talking about that earlier.
Eles estão falando que vai ser uma das armas pesadas mais fortes do jogo.
You can see some of the perks there. It's pretty wild.
I mean, honestly, yeah, this is already looking pretty good. This is one that would obviously find a home in my loadout. My Void one specifically.
Olha, se você não deixou o like ainda, deixa o like na live.
Alright, what else do we have here?
Enquanto a gente vai descobrindo as armas aqui.
The one and only, the falling guillotine. Now, actually, one thing that you
Reação em cadeia.
talking about this earlier as well that was kind of cool is this is also
não viu
going to be
que é
probably the
né?
first sword outside of those available in Crota's End, I believe, that has sword logic on it as well.
Yeah, that's right.
Roll with sword logic.
Seemed like a great opportunity to put that perk on
Jorge.
from that raid, and a little bit earlier than we would normally put raid perks onto a new weapon.
Yeah. I'm also going to echo chat here for a second. Is that Eager Edge I see on there?
That is an Eager Edge, yeah. It'll only be
Tá.
the second sword outside of 30th.
Não vão ser craftáveis.
Have access to that.
It would basically just be the slammer and then the falling guillotine from that's it. That's actually exciting.
Yeah, and this one has like the classic Void perk combo of repulsor brace, destabilizing rounds. It's good fun, and a lot of other strong ones.
It just doesn't get old, honestly,
Yeah.
And then,
Os servidores estão off, Fé, por isso. E a cabeça de martelo com 2 perks de dano, velho. Ué, os caras falaram, foda-se.
This is looking fantastic. All right, so we have a whole cast of characters. Now, Tom, you've got some loadouts set up. You've got some lost sectors that you're going to go ahead and start diving in on.
Topo da Montanha Reclusa. Vamos ver se a Topo da Montanha tem o cano torto ainda. Depois do nerf, né?
Recluse combo here. Yeah. And there's some new stuff with Mountaintop too, where you can rocket jump.
Right. So I'm so glad we got to that point this early because one of the things that was really cool.
O cara pode tirar no chão pra...
Development process behind the scenes was, obviously one of the core tenets was to make sure that you're retaining that classic feel of these weapons and kind of what made them so great to begin with. But you've kind of done some redesigns and expanded even just on the loot pool, on the perk pool rather. How did you guys kind of go about the process of sort of rebuilding these weapons for this modern era of Destiny?
Yeah, I mean, we held off on bringing Mountaintop into the sort of modern Destiny because it was just way too strong in both PvP and in PvE.
Yeah.
In PvP, it was like a pretty unpleasant meta when Mountaintop was part of everyone's loadout, so we definitely didn't want it to be able to one-hit people even with the in PvP anymore.
Fair.
So we've reduced that a little bit. But we also saw how excited people were for the danger launching you into the air. So we've made that part of the base behavior of the new micro missile frame grenade launcher intrinsic.
É intrínseco da Topo da Montanha fazer isso aí. Então você toma dano, mas você pulsiona pra cima, né? Aí tem nego voando no crisol. O problema é munição, né? Acredito que PvE seja mais útil.
Were there any others in particular when you guys were working on them where you're like, yes, this is how this change needs to go? Like obviously, Magnificent Howl got a change, but is there anything else in that pool that feels like it was really kind of a cool leap forward for these weapons?
I think Blast Furnace is a good example because the Black Armory version rolled with scopes, which, like, everyone would just pick the best scope. Like, internally, we felt like the Rasmussen ISA...
Você tá falando que o Pulso, Alto Forno, por exemplo, ele tinha opções de scope, né? E internamente eles já sabiam que se tivesse um que fosse o melhor, é o que todo mundo ia escolher. Então eles trouxeram de volta sem scopes. Só com... E vai ter canos, né?
But you have that classic scope geo.
Actually, also too, to channel chat one more time, as a quick heads up as well, these weapons, while they won't be craftable, they are going to be enhanceable, is that correct?
Não são craftáveis, mas os perks vão ser aprimoráveis na forma final.
Excellent, okay. So you want to make sure to really hold on to those god rolls that light.gg went ahead and told you about, yeah.
Pô, o scope tá bonito.
É
engraçado.
Nossa,
bonito.
É
engraçado porque o scope, se você ver, quando ele não mira no Hipfire, tem aquela tem o mobo, né? Quando ele mira, o mobo some. Isso é legal.
On your side, you know, obviously having this new tapestry of rewards to work with has been pretty exciting. As you kind of went ahead and sort of hatched your plans of how players would go about getting these.
Incrível que a Bungie não tem criatividade nenhuma, sempre usando as armas que existiam. Isso aqui não era pra existir, velho. Foi o que eu falei no início da live. Isso aqui não era pra existir. É um conteúdo que eles fizeram em 3 meses. E é de graça. Por que você tá reclamando?
Yeah.
There's a lot of chests in there, and every single chest has a weapon in it, and all of those chests can.
Se você estivesse pagando, eu estaria reclamando com você.
Anytime you see a chest, it's going to happen. So, every set, not every wave, that'd be crazy. Every set, there's a chest with a weapon in it. If you do it at higher difficulty, there are 2 chests. They both have weapons in them. And if you keep...
Tá falando do modo. É um baú a cada 10 e 2 baús se você fizer na dificuldade mais difícil.
If you just keep yourself kicking and get all the way through there, keep the ADU up, there's a lot of guns to be had.
So those folks who are going to dive into the Legend 50-wave version of Onslaught are going to be well rewarded for those efforts. I'm asking partially for myself, obviously, as well, and my fire team at home who might be listening.
Isolado jogando Destiny.
Really excited about attunement because it gives players some control over the drops that they get, but it retains the excitement of those drops. Like you will get your Blast Furnace dropping from the chest. You don't have to go and focus it or anything like that.
Yeah.
Which, we love that.
Actually, also too is, you know,
você pode dropar todas as armas dos baús da nova atividade, da investida.
It was just your personal favorite that you had a lot of fun with in the playtest, or?
Probably of these weapons, my favorite is Blast Furnace.
Yeah.
With that classic scope and.
É uma questão de reclamar, mas tirar armas que eram de graça e depois colocar de novo. Mas por isso, tirar a arma nunca deveria ter existido. Existiu. Fazer o quê? A gente reclamou, continua existindo. Não, tipo, eles falaram que não irá acontecer de novo tirar armas. Já aconteceu. Já foi há anos que eles tiraram as armas. Fazer o quê? A gente reclamou, não andou em nada. Eles estão trazendo de volta. Você não tá pagando nada. Por caralho você tá reclamando, velho.
Yeah, I've been really enjoying Solar Warlock. I found is really fun in Onslaught because you can find a lane and just completely nuke it if you get your unlimited grenades going. You can just completely destroy it. So I've been really partial to Luna's Howl.
Se você estivesse pagando por isso aqui, pô, eu seria o primeiro a reclamar. Armas voltando, armas que eu paguei voltando e pagar de novo, pô, eu seria o primeiro a reclamar. Mas de graça.
The fight as much as you possibly can, and I say that partially as a void hunter who crutches on invisibility and runs away right away. So I understand and respect the hustle that I don't end up having. Also, too, we got a question from chat from Lil Camino, I think is how you pronounce the name. My mistake if you get it correct. But just to reiterate, will these weapons be attainable after the final shape arrives?
Yes, the base weapons will be, but the limited edition variants with those.
Por causa da raid? A da raid eu não entendi porque que. Acho que eles quiseram dar Isso é engraçado, velho. Vou jogar pra cima. Quiserem dar uma opção pra jogadores novos, porque é de graça? Sei lá. A da raid realmente não tem ideia. Topo da Dentro é a última DLC? Não, isso aqui não é uma DLC. Esse aqui é um update de graça.
Yeah, we try to deliver something which is like an extremely good role, not necessarily the single perfect role, because we want you to have a reason to go in and get excited for those drops.
Yeah.
But like we would say, they're a 70-80% god roll.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
Yeah. On the way, certainly.
Yeah.
And also too, is remember everyone, we're getting 100 more vault slots once the final shape comes out, so go ahead and just follow.
Não esqueça, também vai ter mais 100 slots pro
we
baú.
also just wanted to make sure people are completely at the mercy of RNG when it comes to getting these limited edition variants. So if you log in, you do those quests at our site, you can get one guaranteed copy of a limited edition of each
Só
weapon
update?
Sim,
é um update que não estava previsto. Que foi convocado, que eles fizeram em 3 meses por causa que era pra gente não ficar sem conteúdo durante esse tempo até a forma final que foi atrasada. Não, lança dia 9. Pra quem não viu, golpes finais dão energia de granada caso você use subclasse de luz e energia de corpo a corpo caso você use subclasse da treva.
Alright, let's see here. And also too, actually, we talked kind of at the beginning about what it was like to sort of pair.
As armas da raid eu não entendi muito bem até agora. Eu entendi que eles queriam dar uma arma boa pra jogador free, mas eu não entendi muito bem. Acho que não, manda. Há com tempo para explicar agora.
Could easily have ended up being half hand cannons. We had to restrict ourselves to 2.
Fair.
There were a lot that could easily have made the cut that we just couldn't fit them in.
That's fair. I mean, honestly, though, between Midnight Coup and Luna's Howl, like a very, very solid cast to go ahead and come out of the gate here with.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Yeah, they're really strong. And we definitely wanted to get that spread of experience across the first few years of Destiny 2 as well.
Yeah, honestly, and also too is even recalling all the way back to the Black Armory. That's I think a set of weapons that so many of us think back to so fondly. Again, I think one of the.
Eu já te respondi sobre isso, Edson. Eu não vou responder de novo. Literalmente você falou a mesma coisa de outra maneira.
Yeah, and in cases where we have multiple weapons in the same archetype shipping, so we've got 2 pulse rifles, 2 hand cannons, we assigned those to different designers and like made sure that the roles that they occupy in the sandbox were sufficiently different. We also would look at the most popular roles that the weapons had originally and make sure that those still appear.
E o nome desse barulho?
It meant having to redesign some perks which would be too strong in today's sandbox.
Yeah.
That kind of thing.
But yeah, introducing,
like when you go and you look at a blast bonus in your vault or something, you're like, man, I wish I could roll X perk that came out after that, right? Like, and made sure we put a few of those.
Esse barulho dá sem tempo?
Yeah. And there's also, I'm not sure if we've seen it on screen yet, but there's a
barulho de arma de Destiny,
perk that'll be joining this pool as well, won't there?
Yeah, there is. There's in this build, it's called Last Stand. The shipping name is different.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a pretty sweet perk. If we could bring up the
description of that
when Tom is out of danger.
Já usei tanto assim tempo que até esqueci.
On Blast Furnace, I think.
Shot. Oh, there we go. All right. Well, we'll let him defend himself briefly. But we did
mostra,
a couple questions in chat as well. So there's one that asks, Flo's Knuckles, I believe. There we go. Can we grind Onslaught multiple times?
Golpes finais com armas dão bônus de dano, corpo a corpo e kills com corpo a corpo ou granada dão um dano a mais, uma porcentagem de dano a mais, que estaca no primeiro. É tipo o tricorne dourado, mais ou menos.
Dive on it, honestly. Yeah, go ahead and chase that roll, whatever you want. Also, too, one more quick question from chat. Mega12358, pardon me, Mega, asks, can you take the limited edition ornament off and put it on another copy of the weapon, or is it just on that one weapon?
So you can remove it, you can't put it on something else.
Cool.
It's locked to the weapon that it dropped on.
Makes sense, yeah. I mean, honestly, when it looks that good, you just gotta go ahead and stick with what you got, you know?
Yeah, if players have a favorite shader that they want to put on a weapon, they can remove it and put the shader on.
Yeah, that's true.
You can't shade the ornament.
You can go ahead and photo finish it up to your
Você não pode fazer, não pode colocar tonalizador no ornamento, naquelas armas únicas. Acho que é, então. Acho que é isso mesmo. Acho que é esse barulho que eu tô lembrando mesmo. Isso faz muito tempo, velho. 2 pulsos, meu Deus. Mas o conteúdo é de graça e não era pra existir, então pra mim não tem o menor problema. Mas acho que... Mas não acho que é sobre gratuito. Eles podem ficar reciclando. Como é um conteúdo de 3 meses, eu tô de boa. Se fosse tipo pacote de 30 anos, entendo a reclamação. Você tá pagando.
Nice way to go ahead and clear out a bunch of red bars and then take down that yellow bar with ease if you go ahead and do everything correctly.
Não era pra existir, Edson. Esse update não era pra existir, velho. Não tava planejado, velho. É isso que eu tô te falando. E você tá insistindo na burrice. Se fosse um update de graça, que já tava em produção há, sei lá, 1 ano, eu concordo com você. É um update que foi feito em 3 meses pra ter algo até a forma final. Sim, mega. Só as armas. Não conheço, Gabriel. Tô falando sobre as armas só, até agora. Só tão dando showcase das armas, Gabriel.
How about you? Is there anything in particular that obviously having taken such a big hand in helping design and sort of define all this stuff, what are your favorite weapons and roles that have come out of this?
I'm pretty basic, pretty easy. I really am excited about Reclusa and Mountaintop.
Yeah.
Like I just love that combo of being
Tá falando sobre o Valdout. Reclusa e Topo da Montanha. O que o povo não entende é que não se trata de ser conteúdo reutilizado ou não. A questão é que a Bungie está fazendo uma reparação histórica. Afinal, não deveriam ter tirado as armas. Exato. O negócio de tirar armas, velho. Todo mundo concorda que foi horrível. É a pior coisa que a Bungie já fez na vida, velho.
I remember with Mountaintop back in the day, I would just shoot my feet on purpose and
engraçado isso aqui,
usually like an instant death, and so you can really get a lot more up close and personal with it.
Yeah, let's see. Fit nicely into a lot of builds. Honestly, I can already see a Tommy's matchbook build with that. Just floating up there in the sky as a warlock, just murdering everyone. But that is to say, now there's an opportunity for more than just warlocks to be the floating weapon platforms out there in the game. Yeah. I know, Kelsey. I'm sorry. we can share. Yes. We can share the abilities.
Particularly with the redesign of.
Mestre de armas não mudou, pelos vistos. Acho que foi só da Luna mesmo. O mestre de armas tinha sido nerfado antes de ser sunsetado.
Switch over to Manticore.
Yeah.
You can just hover around.
Just seems like a fever dream I had one time, honestly. Also, too, for the folks at home that may not have seen the Manticore.
Se a gente começou a jogar agora, não vai saber o que é reciclado. Também tem isso.
The intrinsic perk on that works now?
Yeah, so it's the base functionality, the way you use the weapon is fairly similar. We've tightened up its activation, so it will no longer activate if you're running downstairs and that kind of thing, which is pretty irritating. You can also just deactivate it by holding reload, and it will do that quick special reload animation.
Oh, very nice.
Before you have to wait for it to expire or switch off the weapon.
Yeah.
And then the catalyst, instead of just giving you damage resistance, now gives you a void overshield, which of course also gives you damage resistance, but can
Tá falando alguma arma que eu não escutei.
in a pretty synergistic way.
Very nice, honestly. Yeah, between that, Devour, the whole 9, obviously, there's going to be a lot of mobile weapon.
Survivability as well. It also decreases enemy accuracy against you, similar to the always-on-time Sparrow. So you've got a ton more damage resistance. You've got an overshield, and enemies are missing you all the time. So it's combined with being able to launch yourself up into the air easily with Mountaintop. It's good fun.
That's also, too, actually, we got a question from chat that is, what's the difference between the new perk and Golden Tricorn? They sound pretty similar.
A Tricorn Dourada é a pergunta.
They have kind of similar functionality. The big one is that the Golden Tricorn bonus is large, but doesn't stack once you get it. So the uptime on...
O Tricorn Dourada não estaca, verdade, né? Não é 50 mais 10. Esse aqui ele estaca, o segundo bônus de dano estaca com o primeiro. O Tricorn Dourado não.
Excellent, okay. Makes sense.
A diferença entre Tricorn Dourado e esse.
Chat question for me, I should say. Will the weapon ornaments for Luna's Howl and the Recluse be equipable for the new versions of those weapons?
Yes, they will.
Oh, awesome.
Both for the base versions and for the variants, you can equip any ornaments that you've got. players have already
Normalmente
noticed
são
that, some of
equipáveis
those
para todas as
showing
armas.
up later in the season,
Yeah.
in the Bright Dust Storm.
For anyone out there that might go ahead and check through the databases, they might have noticed something potentially.
Yep.
Yeah, we can't say yes or no, but maybe. Firm maybe, certainly. Excellent. All right, so we're doing a pretty good job here. Tom, I gotta say, it seems like you're
Armas
making
da
some pretty
Forja.
quick work of these lost sectors.
Essas armas que vocês viram são as únicas que vão voltar, pelos
Maybe once
vistos.
or twice, potentially? You never know.
I did work on EDZ. It's been a while though.
So Tom, actually also
Não,
too,
acho que não, Gabriel.
as you've kind of been helping sort of build a lot of what Into the Light is going to be, what was the role that these weapons played? Like, why is Shaxx choosing now to go ahead and re-equip us with this particular set of antiquities?
And part of the idea is that it's like this forbidden arsenal, right? The things that aren't, that we've kind of set aside, at least in the Crucible and other spaces, and now in this kind of dire time with our backs against the wall, we need to, kind of set aside those conventions and really take every advantage we can in the fight against the Witness, and kind of like having players in this moment, with Into the Light, it's a great time to hop in and play if you haven't been playing, or if you want to catch up, and we're going to give you the weapons you need to be ready for the final shape. Like, as long as you show up every week, you do the work, you're going to get like an incredible arsenal.
Yeah, particularly if you had been like looking at some of the meta heavy grenade launchers.
Cara, duvido você colocar lunas, velho.
Be like competitive already.
Yeah.
Amplificador.
I just got word from back at home that also Noah is apparently back at home after last week's stream in chat, cheering everyone on. So if everyone out there wants to give him a quick yeah, great in chat, now's the time.
Pô, convoca lunas, velho. Quero ver a desgraça.
Alrighty.
I really like auto-loading hoster on mountaintop.
Oh yeah.
I've got
Soldados da Luna, será que voltam um dia?
Tá
de sacanagem, né?
That obviously hinges pretty heavily on auto-loading holster because I never want to stop shooting any grenades.
Também,
I'm sorry, everyone. We're getting some love for Noah in the chat. All right, love to see it. So also too, actually, over the course of developing kind of this new reward structure, was there anything about it where you're like, all right, this is the moment, like Onslaught is set up just right. Like, what was it like kind of building this structure for players to go ahead and just reinvest in, I guess?
Yeah. I think when we finally got the loot explosion going,
yeah,
there was this whole conversation and how we wanted to feel when you open the chest and all this stuff, and all these people working together doing tech stuff to make sure it all worked great and everyone doing their part, and then finally getting in there and just running through and seeing everything just like I guess all of your work just like flying through the air.
Não, já utilizou esse
really
também.
Satisfying, and it really felt like it was coming together. I'm also really partial to when we
Meu Deus.
more icons and world art coming in. The space really started to feel tangible when Shaxx finally had the guns in his hands in the
Coloca a Luna.
for a while they're just like this,
Did you guys have that vision of the Hollow Shaxxes like right away? You were like, this is how we want
Como
it to
assim,
be.
gamer?
What was the evolution of that space like when you guys were building it?
It was really fun working with world art and all this stuff. We had a bunch of people in the room, everyone who's dedicated to the space in some capacity, and we were just brainstorming together and laughing and coming up with all these fun ideas. So it was a huge collaborative process. And
o cara sabe tudo, você tá perdido, velho. Tá porra.
You get to work with all these people who know all these things that you don't, and make something so cool and awesome.
Yeah. Actually, also too, we got one more quick question from chat that caught my eye. Is the Master of Arms perk as powerful as before?
No, it's had to be toned down a little bit.
Fair, yeah.
Yeah, it's still very strong. But yeah, that original...
Mas o Mestre de Armas já tinha sido nerfado. Tipo, eles estão falando... Alguém no chat perguntou se o Mestre de Armas está tão forte quanto antigamente. Falou que foi modificado. Mas ele já tinha sido modificado.
All right, Tom. So what's your strat right now? Is it basically just Old West gunslinger?
I mean,
Opa!
I haven't
volta pra ela.
play with all these guns either, so I'm just having fun over here. Like, you can do your stream over there. I'm just gonna play with Midnight Coup here, which it just feels so snappy and crispy. Like, I just gotta point it in the right direction. It does a lot of the work.
Explosive rounds and kinetic tremors. Is that what it has?
Não, mano, por que você puxa pra não usar, véi? Pô, tá sacanagem?
Need to be that accurate, I guess, with this roll. I can just kind of shoot around enemies.
Make them dance like in the Old West.
Pretty sure this is still the highest aim assist of any legendary hand cannon in the game too.
Oh, is that so?
Okay, yeah.
Galera, se você não deixou o like, duvido tu deixar um like. Imediatamente.
They each kind of have their different PvP and PvE flavors, but in the PvE trenches, are there any roles in particular with this new kind of set of perks that you were really caught off guard by or surprised by?
I mean, Firefly Tremors is really strong. I think that was actually the role that Noah was running last week.
Yeah, he was making it look pretty good, thankfully.
Yeah, he's smart.
Noah's all right at the game, as it turns out.
Yeah. What else? I think the role that we've got here on Edge Transit, which is Cascade Point left column.
Yeah.
Being able to just like mag dump a whole drum grenade launcher, it's really strong.
Yeah.
The burst damage potential is wild.
And also too, actually, another question from chat. To get the double perk rolls on the weapons, do you have to do higher level onslaughts, or is there a chance for them to drop with double perks in each column regardless?
There is always a chance.
Você não precisa fazer níveis mais difíceis da investida pra dropar armas com 2 perks de damage para
Those ones
martelo.
have a higher chance of giving you one of the limited edition variants, or?
Those give you the curated ones, right?
Yes, those are the curated ones. So pretty much that's just a guarantee that you can get them. But anytime you get a brave weapon, there's a chance that it will have the double perks and the awesome appearance on it. So that was actually a really fun thing.
Tá, você vai dando baixas críticas e você troca o perk depois e ele parece infinito.
It's just a really fun feeling.
Even just that excitement of like when you're, out there doing a
Eu não vi quanto dano ele deu, velho.
and you're checking through all the guns
Na primeira
that
tira,
are in your mailbox, and you're just like, oh, that initial set of rolls is pretty cool, and then you click in and you're like, wait, I can curate this to exactly what I want it to be. Like that moment's always pretty rewarding, honestly. So as a quick reminder to everyone in chat, so the Brave Arsenal will be able to drop from Onslaught at every stage, was it? Every 10 levels?
Yes, every set.
Excellent, okay.
Todos os 10 níveis dropa uma arma.
We have the experts here, obviously.
Basicamente tem um baú a cada 10 níveis. E no nível mais difícil tem 2 baús.
Which lost sector is going to wilt against your powers?
I think I'm gonna go.
Volta pra ela.
I don't know what it's called, but it's in
Volta pra Uvo. Eu quero ver se o perk tá lá ainda.
That's where it's at. I'm trying to remember.
So you just go ahead and drop on down in.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
Those fallen aren't going to be safe for long.
Yeah, can't die from full damage anymore.
It's true. Who could possibly do that? That's what we have the mountaintop to do, or to use for rather to get those kills on ourselves.
Oh, wrong way. This is the right way.
Ah, finalmente eu não sabia que era.
Also too, so a lot of
Qual era o
questions in
setor
chat
perdido?
about the pools of perks that are going to be available, the weapons that are going to be available. You and your team over on the weapons team have also gone ahead and authored a blog that will be hitting bungie.net tomorrow, I believe.
Yeah, that's going to list out all of the weapons and all of the perks that can appear on them.
Amanhã eles vão mostrar todas as armas e todos os perks delas. Então você já mostrou a golpe, velho. Mostra o Uivo. Tudo desgraçado.
Go ahead and go nuts and kind of imagine their most exciting opportunities, really.
Duvido puxar o Uivo. Opa! Ele tá com o perk ainda, velho. 18 mil, 12 mil, tá. Interessante como... Oh, tá vendo ali, Precision Final Boss? Que é tipo, golpes finais de precisão. Vezes 2, vezes 3. E agora você tem o perk vezes 3. Ou seja, você vai dar mais dano durante os próximos 3 tiros. Será que dá 2-step, velho?
Kind of waiting to see how we're gonna end up looking in the end, because we weren't really sure right away which armor set we were getting.
Esse tonalizador ficou foda, tá?
See him in the chest.
Yeah, it was, I think, honestly, that first look at that.
Puxa o Uivo de volta, tudo desgraçado.
Obviously there was an initial glimpse, and it's weird because even as good as they looked, they were almost like everyone was just immediately captivated by Onslaught, immediately captivated by like.
Pô, esse tonalizador preto tá foda, tá?
Who knows?
If you're trying to bring back players' favorites, like there is so much nostalgia for that parade armor set.
Yeah.
Like, bringing that back and updating it a little bit, like.
Finalmente tonalizador preto, velho.
The parade armor set.
No branco já existe, que é o dos 9, né? Será que ele volta? Algum dia?
And
as pessoas não têm.
To go ahead and chase down Super Black doesn't hurt either.
Looks very cool when you break it out of.
Volta pra Uivo. Será que dá 2-step? Porque ele falou que dá 2-step. Ele falou que dá 2-step, mas precisa tipo de muito mais trabalho.
Is there anything else actually? So I know we've had a chance to walk through the Brave Arsenal. Tom, in particular on your side, we've gone ahead and kind of gone right over here. Is there anything about this kind of new set of weapons and sort of the role they play and into the light that's got you excited about kind of the overall sandbox now that we're going to have available to us?
Que isso, Bardock? Fora de...
I'm really excited about a lot of these weapons are they're not god rolls, but they're pretty close to it. Like if you show up every week and you do the weekly quest, you're going to get something that is really pretty powerful. Yeah. And it's going to be like, for example, just looking at like the hammerhead here, it's got rampage and killing tally on it. That's just incredible. Like for PvE, it just never stops firing, right? Yeah. Like, and then you're also increasing damage every time you take an enemy out, which is cool. And like I could look at each one of these weapons too, and they like I think we might have glossed over it earlier, but the edge transit with cascade point, like you get a kill and then you can dump the whole mag in like 2 or 3 seconds, which is really powerful. And I think people are going to find a lot of great synergies between these weapons. Like I was even like mountaintop, Reclusa, and cascade edge transit felt great. Like I could like use the SMG like that while my mountaintop is reloading, and then like getting kills with those activates cascade point, and I can swap over and dump the mag for edge transit and like.
Você acha da forma que o Warframe trata seu conteúdo pago e gratuito? Eu não tenho ideia porque eu não jogo com Warframe, velho. Eu te respondi.
With Elsie's rifle. Yeah. And then like there's also just some classic weapons here that I really miss that I'm really excited for Blast Furnace to be back, and I'm excited to see what it does.
O que eu vou estar usando esse post não tá escrito, né?
In the power game again, and being something that is accessible to players new and old.
Yeah. Someone who spends a lot of time in the Crucible, I'm terrified already. Proctor, thank you very much for all the hard work on that. To you and yours, obviously. All right, so I think we're probably getting to a point now. We've gone ahead and checked out the rewards, we've checked out the new social space, we've checked out the Brave Arsenal. It's probably about time for us to go ahead and start wrapping things up here. Mr. Tom Farnsworth, when you get an opportunity, feel free to go ahead and rejoin us. Relinquish your hold from the throne world, obviously.
Acho que não tem uma arma boa do Destiny que veio pro Destiny 2.
So fast your jump ship was right in orbit, wasn't it?
Não vou lembrar de todas agora, velho, mas deve... Acho que tem algumas boas.
Everyone's Noah and Kelsey been keeping it warm for me in there.
That's true. All right, fair enough. Yeah, and again, we can use some sword logic later to expand it when the time comes.
É, a Buff é uma delas. A Buff ficou muito boa no Destiny.
Well, for starters, thank you all so much for taking time to join us to talk us through, obviously, the champion.
E vai Jeffs.
Talk us through the Brave Arsenal, through everything.
Pô, a nova área social ficou foda, velho. É tipo um pouco igual ao Shure. Você vai abrindo baús e vai pegando recompensas, né? É a armadura. Aí você pode focar certas armas para droparem mais frequentemente. Mitoclasta Vex também. Rockwana, no Jardas.
Some exotic mission content and the craftable weapons that'll be available to them. Chat, I saw you mentioning some stuff about that potentially, so come back next week. Also, we'll be gonna go ahead and walk through the PvP map pack as well. So if you want to see everything that's going to be coming in those 3 maps, next week will be your time. And there might be a few more additional surprises that we'll have in store for you. Never know, but and also to
surpresa semana que vem,
make sure you close with is as a quick reminder, of course, with the arrival of the final shape, you'll be able to get 100 more slots in your vault. As you can go ahead and see here on camera, we put it to good use ourselves. We had some edge transit rolls. We knew that this
o cara continua o meme, velho.
In there, so we now have those, thankfully, in safekeeping now for the
arrival. O cara continua o meme da pesada.
All right, everyone. Well, thank you all so much for taking the time to join us.
Fosse na Velha Torre, é que acho que a Velha Torre vai estar voltando no Destiny 1, né?
Same Bungie time, same Bungie place, but in the meantime, take care of yourselves.
Mais alguma boa do Destiny 1 pra vir? Acho que tem. A tua Lock, por exemplo, exótica, muito boa. Prometeu tudo e entregou nada? Não, tá sacanagem, né? Pô, tu acabou de ver a Uivo de Luna de volta. O martelo, velho. Alto forno. Como é que é nada? Pô, essa live foi muito melhor que a da semana passada, né? Mas já... É, porque semana que vem vai ter outra live. Então eles estão fazendo, tipo... Se fosse só uma live, a live ia ser, tipo, 3 horas. Pô, foi bom, foi bom.